Alright, so I made my first 100K, 9 top 50 records, and over 124 million streams with only 1,216 followers. In this video, I'm going to walk you through what I did and how you can make a living as a producer without having a massive audience. The problem is that for most people and most producers, what we're doing is that we're chasing empty followers. Now, is there anything wrong with building an audience and having an audience? No, but it completely depends on the objective that you have for producing. So if your objective is to grow an audience, sell $30 releases, sell sample packs, drum kits, all that good stuff, amazing, build an audience. If your goal is simply to make a good living doing this, work with artists, get placements, then the audience won't serve you that much, and I'm gonna walk you through why. So I also thought that I needed a huge audience to make money from producing. If you ask me why, I probably couldn't answer it. It was just like, oh well, I need followers. Well, why? Followers, good. Like that was the logic behind it. And I see that with so many other producers as well. At this point, I was also selling $30 to $50 releases. And that caused me to focus on followers instead of actual connections and opportunities. So if the goal is to make big songs, get money, get paid, then you don't need a big audience to do that. Because all followers are not created equal, right? One real connection with like a good artist, somebody in the industry, a good engineer, a producer, manager, whatever. One of those connections beats 1,000, 10,000 of just random followers. Because these random followers aren't really going to do much for you. Now, I was wasting a lot of time trying to get my follower count up with content, which makes sense if you want to be a content creator. But I didn't even want to do that. I hated making content. I didn't want to do it. All I wanted was to get artists, get them on my beats, make songs that actually streamed, and then get paid. That's what I wanted to do. For that objective, growing an audience doesn't make the most amount of sense. Because in order to make bigger songs, you need bigger artists, and a bigger artist won't look at your following count and be like, oh my God, he has 10,000 followers, he's legit. No, they'll look at, okay, do you have mutual connections? Have they heard your songs before? Do they like those songs? Have they heard your beats? Do they like them? Do they have some kind of positive association with you, either through others or songs that you might even have produced that they've heard? That's what they're gonna look at. And just having an audience for the sake of having an audience won't give you that. And before we get into what I chose to do instead, if you want a copy of this Google Doc and to learn more about making a living as a producer without having to chase followers, then you can join my free community. I'm in there every day helping out for free. People are in there getting wins, and it's just a great time overall. So click the link in the description to join in on that. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and walk you through the steps taken to building the right network. So yes, there's gonna be an element of content to this, and that is gonna be your Instagram, because Instagram is going to be the main tool that you use to network. And your Instagram will kind of function as your resume. Even if you connect with somebody like at an event or in a studio session, they're still gonna look at your Instagram and it's gonna affect their perception of you. So the first thing I did was that I made my Instagram professional. Now, with that said, my Instagram wasn't that great, to be honest. So here's my old Instagram. You can see studio pictures, releases. These matter more than anything because releases are what actually gives you credibility and what people actually care about. But you just want to make it look nice. I can actually show you a better example. Here's another example of a very good looking Instagram. Great guy. So you can see it looks professional, it looks serious. And that is really what you want. So basically just take some iPhone pictures in the studio, make it look cool, make it look clean, make it look aesthetic, and you're good to go. Because then the rest comes down to what you actually done, like the actual songs you made, the releases you have, and the connections that you have. Because that's gonna weigh heavier than your Instagram feed. But that's a start that will allow you to start getting these connections. And then, what I did next was that instead of spending my time making a bunch of memes, trying to do a bunch of content that really didn't get me anything, I just started networking one-on-one with relevant people. So artists, engineers, managers, and actually focusing on the people that did matter. And here's another misstep that I made where I would just network with anybody. But the problem with that is that they're in the same position as you. Now, is there anything wrong with that? No, of course not. But if you want to start accelerating your career, you want to network vertically. So like one teeny tiny step ahead of you in the right direction towards people that are big. So people connected to people that are bigger. And that's what I started doing instead of posting a bunch of random content. Because another thing that happens is if you're trying to do that, and then you're trying to do content, and then you're trying to do all of these different things while you're probably going to school or working a 9 to 5, this becomes really hard. Because you also got to make beats, you got to make music. And time isn't enough. So then you get spread too thin because you're spending 50% of your day doing something that isn't bringing you any results. I started working one-on-one with relevant people. I started small, of course. When you're just starting out, people are not gonna be as responsive, they're not gonna care. So you wanna start with people who are small, like 1K, 3K followers, whatever. You start with people who are small but connected to bigger connections. And then I started focusing on releasing songs. Because one, you can charge more for a song. If you make a song with somebody, you can charge more for a beat. It's also easier because then it's like, okay, it's done, it's finished. It's not just a beat, it's an actual song, which is more valuable, hence why you can charge more. I mean, if you're just starting out, if you have a full song, it's gonna be released at least 500. Like at least. More. You can do more. But if you're just starting out, if you wanna play safe, you can do 500 for a song. Easy, no problem. And the other thing with songs is that songs are what really matters at the end of the day. Because what is a beat if it's not a song? It's just a beat. And beats won't do you many favors. Release songs will. They grow your brand more than anything. Metro Boomin, for example, we know of him because of the songs he made. DJ Mustard, we know of him because of the songs he made. Any artist ever, we know of them because of the songs they made. And that's how artists view producers. Because if you have a bunch of releases that they like, they heard, they're far more likely to want to work with you. And they might even start hitting you up as you move along in your journey. So yeah, that's what I did. Instead of trying to grow this random following count of empty followers, I focus on building relationships that actually led to records and not just random likes and followers. When you have the right connections, you don't need a lot of them. You just need the right ones that actually advance your career. And when you focus on that, you can focus on the few tasks that actually bring you results and just toss out the rest. I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you're not after vanity metrics, you're after results. So then why do stuff that only builds vanity metrics? Unless having an audience and being like an influencer is what you want to do, then take every single thing I just said, throw it straight in the garbage. But if your goal is to simply make records, get paid, and have a good time, then right here, this is the blueprint. So the outcome of this is that I started making songs that built my catalog and my brand. And I got bigger and bigger artists through networking and collaboration, not my follower count. As you can see, it's 1,216. That's not a lot. I built an audience. I don't even want to call it audience, but I built the right network of industry producers instead of randoms. And because of the connections, coupled with the brand growing through the releases, I was able to start charging premium prices and get placements. And that all led to me getting the 120 million streams, 9 top 50 records, over 100K in revenue with only 1,216 followers. And what I learned here is that you don't need a massive audience. You need the right people. And songs grow your brand more than content. And one real industry connection beats 1,000 empty followers. And I learned to focus on networking and releases, not follower counts. And to build relevance, not reach.